Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode with Hightech. We are back in the building on this Sunday flow. Shout out to everybody that's tapping in. And if this is your first time here, what we like to do is take a look at the most interesting and creepy TikToks and kind of evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it.
1982 in Los Angeles, there was the craziest discovery, and I never heard about this until a couple days ago, bro. There was this guy named Melvin Weisberg, and he was a pathologist, and that's basically like they do like all the lab tests on your body and like your skin and all this other. So he was one of those guys, and I guess he ran a bunch of laboratories throughout Santa Monica. So this dude was like a pretty important guy, right? Around that time, he was paying for this shipping container that he had in his backyard, and it's like this huge ass shipping container, right? Like he was paying money every month to keep it in his backyard, and he ended up missing a payment. They ended up confiscating the crate and they took it back, right? And when they took it back, they took it to this like junkyard or this area where they had like a bunch of the other crates. They get it, they take it to this area, bro, and dude, you're not gonna believe what they found inside of this crate. They crack open the crate, instantly majority of the workers started throwing up.
It smelled hella bad in there.
They looked and there was over 17,000 dead babies.
What?
Inside of this container, and they found this inside of LA. Yeah,
17,000.
17,000 corpses of babies, bro. And
what?
dude, I'm telling you, and the way these babies look like they got did is disgusting, bro. It's like some of them are like kind of split in half. Some of them like you can see like their eyes popping out of their head.
What the hell?
All this crazy, bro. I literally could show you the footage right now if you want to see it, but I can't show you. And the craziest part is it's even still on YouTube.
Really?
I'm dead ass serious. Yeah, I was looking at it this morning.
What the hell? That's
like, what the fuck?
crazy.
Now that clip moves way beyond creepy and right into horrific.
I don't see any sharks. What is she talking about? What was she talking about? I see sharks. Okay, Tanner, smile. See if I can get it. Okay, Hallie. Let me take a little selfie. Oh my god! Wait, no.
I'm glad they were in good spirits about that because that actually seemed like a horrific incident.
There's a bunch of stories of UFOs. Missiles are about to get launched, and then all the systems will just go down. There's a lot of these kind of stories.
The ICBMs at Minot, North Dakota, there were 18 intercontinental ballistic missiles went offline at the same time. What they were saying, they weren't a threat. They were saying, look, don't blow up this beautiful planet, but if you do a mutual assured destruction all-out launch, we can take a lot of them offline. So that's why they're here.
Wow.
They're here to sort of be a check to the madness of what's been going on for 70 years on this planet.
So once we started creating nuclear weapons, that's when they started showing up, right? They're like, yo, you guys are idiots.
Is that what it is?
They were looking at us as a real problem. You know, we're a bunch of rampaging monkeys with thermonuclear weapons, thousands of them aimed at each other,
But surely-
and then going out into space with them. You know,
It's one of
everyone's
the
always
matches.
afraid of the aliens. I said, no, it's the other way around.
Why doesn't
Simple.
one of these
Not hard to
aliens
figure out.
cruise by and roll down the window and say, yo, guys, we're up here, we're chilling.
But your question is assuming something that hasn't happened that has happened.
That just hasn't happened for us.
What-
I'm
what-
impulsive.
Did you ever go up in a rocket and walk on the moon?
Not yet.
But we went
I'm
there.
considering.
I mean, that guy does make a good point. If the aliens did just show up and did some kind of like mass communication and just let everybody know that they're here to save us from ourselves, it might just kind of bring more awareness that we got to change some things up.
Yeah, originally, my first gen. I'm a second gen now. That's why you see the celebrity bursts say I'm born in Toronto sometimes.
No.
Exorcists say they manifest differently, and so they actually thought they were different demons. But the fathers of the church are very clear. Oh, no, he's the same guy. how does this work?
Lucifer, Beelzebub,
and
Satan are all the same guy. Three expressions.
Yeah.
You've had repeat customers in exorcisms, and I don't mean the person, I mean the demon, through different people.
Right.
How do you recognize, is it facial or is it patterns of speech?
It depends on the particular demons. In my own personal experience, anytime I've dealt with Satan, he always manifests the same way. There's kind of a severity, and it's actually kind of somewhat nondescript. He's the father of lies, so he the way you primarily discern him is he just lies at everything. Even when it would go better for him, he's still gonna lie. He's that wed to lying. Yeah.
Wow.
Beelzebub, which is also another name for Satan, because there actually there's three, which I can tell you why that is, but Beelzebub, which is another name for Satan, we actually see that in Scripture. They tell Christ, we think you're casting out demons by the power of Beelzebub, and then he just turns and says, how can Satan cast out Satan? So he turns that, which is a revelatory to us that these are actually the same guy. The fathers of the church all say they're the same guy. They also say that Lucifer is the same guy. So Satan, Lucifer, and Beelzebub are the same guy. The interesting thing is though that they manifest very differently. So as I mentioned, Satan is a habitual liar, but when you get to Beelzebub, he manifests in a very distinctive way in every case I've ever had him. Lucifer, on the other hand, will never manifest the same way in any case I've ever seen him, which I've seen him in about 4 or 5 cases. So you just never see him in the same way. And Lucifer is the second personality of Satan, the inversion of Christ, who's light from light, because Lucifer means light bearer, and he said yes. And Satan is the inversion of the first personality because he's the father of lies. He's the inversion of father.
Now that's the first time I heard the breakdown of Satan in that way, and that makes complete sense.
About people selling their souls, I'm talking about all of it.
So first let's talk about me selling my soul, because I want to make this very clear. I keep saying this, and I want people to know at home how this works. I was offered to sell my soul. So let me explain to everyone at home exactly how this works. You don't become the most Googled man on earth without them trying to control what you say. The reason all these stupid superstars say the same garbage and don't speak out against injustice and didn't speak out against COVID and don't tell the truth about anything and don't have any interesting opinions that could actually save people from slavery is because they've sold their souls. And typically you have to sell your souls to become famous. You sell your soul on the ascent, and they won't allow you to become famous unless you do that.
Yeah.
I broke the matrix. So once I was already famous, they wanted to control what I said. And it's very simple how it works. They come to you with a sponsorship contract for a large company. And that large company will offer you, let's say hypothetically, let's imagine there's a guy called Top G, and imagine they will offer him 50 million. And they will say, you will take 50 million, but to make sure the brand is represented well, you're going to wear certain clothes, you're going to dress a certain way, and you're going to have certain opinions. You're not going to talk about this. You're not going to talk about that. You're not going to talk about this. If you're asked about Israel-Palestine, you're on this team. And if you're asked about transgenders, you're on this team. If you're asked about things, you change your opinion, and you have to have all these opinions to represent the brand under the brand integrity guidelines.
Now, Tate is like the OG whistleblower. Like, he'll tell you exactly what's going on in real time.
This guy built a motorcycle that runs on water, and now the governments are after him. This motorcycle can travel 100 kilometers on just 1 liter of water. Imagine how much money countries who rely on selling oil would lose if this became a thing. The guy showed how his motorcycle works. First, he opens the lid on the big metal container and fills it with regular tap water. Then, he throws some wood you find on the side of the road into the container to burn and make it hot. As the water heats up, it turns into steam. This steam builds up pressure inside the machine, like blowing up a balloon. The pressure is sent through tubes and valves to the wheels of the motorcycle. A little bit of oil is added to make the engine run smoothly. When there's enough pressure, a lever is flipped to let the steam out. The steam pushes on pistons inside the engine, which makes the wheels turn and the motorcycle move forward. This motorcycle can even go pretty fast, up to 60 kilometers per hour on country roads. And here's the best part. While you heat up the water to power the motorcycle, you can also use the leftover heat to cook food. This motorcycle is perfect for both travel and cooking. Would you buy this motorcycle if you could?
Of course I'd buy that and show up to every cookout. It's genius.
The Purge is real.
Yes, it is.
Who would have ever imagined that a movie like The Purge was like, oh, it's a great premise, but it would never happen in real life? Aha! Yes, it is.
I think it's a great idea.
Todd, lead us through this.
All right,
Let's go.
so the city of Pittsburgh has come out and said, guess what? Between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., we will not be responding to the residents of Pittsburgh. So let's play this clip because it is awesome.
Brick What was the big takeaway today?
Yeah, Susan, residents of the city will see a major change in the way police respond. They will no longer respond to calls that aren't considered in-progress emergency. That means calls like criminal mischief, theft, harassment, and most burglary alarms will all be handled by an enhanced telephone reporting unit. That means residents will file a police report over the phone. Officers will not respond unless it's an emergency. Also, between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., there will be no officers at any of the 6 stations throughout the city. Call boxes that link directly
We ain't talking about like Caledonia, bro. It's Pittsburgh.
And during the overnight shift, there will be as few as 20 officers to cover the entire city. The chief said today the data supports that.
Attention. Between the hours of 3 a.m. and 7 a.m., all emergency services will be non-existent. Welcome to the...
So that means, Jay, you better be ready to protect yourself.
Whenever you crave a hamburger, be sure to watch this video. The production process might even make you lose your appetite. First, workers put purchased frozen ground meat into a grinder. They also add a certain proportion of fat to make the ground meat finer, making it taste like fresh meat chunk. Then, they pour pre-prepared ingredients and the ground meat into a mixer, along with red Hightech sauce and breadcrumbs, and mix them together evenly. The prepared meat filling is then sent to the next workshop, where it's poured into a massive container and pressed into evenly sized patties. They are then sent through a conveyor belt into a high-temperature steaming box to dry the moisture. At this point, you'll notice that the originally soft patties instantly become firm, making them much more appetizing. Next, the workers will sear them over a fierce fire to bring out a richer charred flavor. Finally, they are packaged with vegetable salad, sauce, and slices of ham on a bun, completing your favorite high-tech burger. After watching this video, would you still dare to eat a hamburger?
No, I don't want no hamburger after watching something like that. I mean, no offense to anybody who's still into it after that, but me, I'm good.
People like McDonald's, I'm going, dah. In fact, they use downer cows. I don't know if you know what a downer cow. I used to work on farms in New Zealand. You know, my first business was the modern farm system is so bad for animals, okay? That milk cow specifically, they push them so hard to produce milk, the cow just basically starts, it's almost like fainting. They can't stand up. Their bottom legs come out from under them, and you call them downer cows. So eventually you have to, they hit them with a bolt. And McDonald's, you getting that downer cows.
So nobody finds it crazy that they're passing laws to protect our brainwaves? Colorado passes a law banning commercial use for people's brainwave data and thoughts, making it the first law to protect brainwaves. So you mean to tell me people are now stealing our thoughts and our brainwaves? Me not having the privacy of thinking is crazy. And then I went to New York Times and I seen this crazy article, and it said your brainwaves are up for sale and a new law wants to change it. Dang. Since when was they selling our brainwaves or our thoughts? And for time purposes, y'all gonna read that whole article. But then it just makes me think, like, have y'all ever been just thinking about something and then it pop up on your phone? Yeah, like an advertisement or an ad. Welcome to 2024, where we're cooked to the maximum capacity.
Now that makes sense because I just dropped a video explaining how Apple just filed a patent to capture your brain waves through their earbuds. So like now it's all the dots are connected right now. And I'm totally against that.
Bitch, is this cake?
No, it's not. Oh, it's cake. And there was no plan to prank you today.
I'm shaking. It's so weird.
All right, so it's moving. But wait, when we start moving, it looks like it's still, and then you can tell it's moving again. That's so crazy.
There's definitely been more and more glitches happening. I mean, I read the comments and a lot of you guys have been experiencing it too.
A frothy urine or too many bubbles in your urine, it can be a sign that you have a substance called urea. And that can actually be a sign that your kidneys aren't working properly. And unfortunately, the two main causes of this are diabetes and high blood pressure. So if you're seeing too much of this froth in your urine, you may want to test your urea levels, which is hard to say. If those are getting too high, it can start to add stress to your body's detoxification systems. And when your body becomes more toxic, these particles and toxins form too much urea, which can result in too much ammonia, which is known to be very excitatory for the nervous system, which can result in symptoms like brain fog, memory issues, insomnia, fatigue, anxiety, depression, pain, and inflammation. So stay tuned and follow us because I'll be sharing tips on how you can do a proper kidney flush soon.
If you weren't a rock and roll star, what would you be?
A burglar.
What would you burglarize?
Ladies' underpants.
What kind of music do you listen to when you're home?
Silence.
No music, no favorite artists, no albums?
Because I find that if I listen to music, I find that it has an influence on what I'm going to write, you know. I write totally out of my head.
Will your stage shows continue to get wilder, or have they gone as far as they can go?
Yeah, I'm going to get an atom bomb in the next show, you know.
You're going to do what?
An atom bomb. An atomic nuclear device.
Oh, and you're going to explode that in your next show?
Nah.
Aside from recording and performing, what do you like doing best?
Sex.
What other hobbies do you have?
Sex.
Okay. Why did you shave your head, Ozzy?
I was kind of bored, you know.
I can tell you he was being completely honest in that interview.
Teenager who made that 911 call is finally speaking publicly at length and laying out exactly what he saw that night and what has happened since.
We were in the backyard fixing a truck, and then out of nowhere we just see a big light fall down and basically crash in the backyard. And moments after, like a couple seconds after, I saw the big giant creature in front of me. The alien, whatever you guys want to call it. The alien demon, whatever you guys want to call it.
Was it moving? Was it doing?
Yes, it was moving. It was. You could see like he was breathing, like he was like pissed off, like he wanted to do something.
And he was looking at you and your brother?
He was looking at me. Yeah.
Did he say anything?
Mm-mm. I remember he was growling like a dog, like he was growling.
I know they disappeared when this whole thing happened. They left out of Las Vegas, so they just now must have just got some sense about them.
Day of the eclipse, our most eastern tsunami buoy was turned off. But the day after the eclipse, there was this mass water movement that came from Antarctica that was the size of Texas. Ventu Sky said it's like a glitch. But the same anomaly happened on February 22nd, March 27th, and then April 9th. It looks like it kind of starts at this one island above Antarctica, Bouvet Island. But we talked about one time the Russian torpedo called the Poseidon. It's a nuclear weapon. Supposedly, it can create a 1,000-foot tsunami filled with radioactive material. But supposedly, this past week of the eclipse, they tested it and it worked. And I'm like, well, where are the Russian labs in Antarctica? And it's directly south of Bouvet.
So they shot it at Bouvet.
Or they went to Bouvet to shoot it out. They're saying that this Poseidon tsunami could literally just cover the entire of the UK.
The UK is going to be the next Atlantis.
And then we'll just all choose to forget about
They'll
it.
be like folklore about it. Did you know that their cookies were called biscuits?
Okay.
Radioactive waves 1,000 feet tall, that could devastate a country.
You remember the big waves that were down here a couple weeks ago and everybody said it was a glitch? Well, it's back and this one's different. Now, I have an idea of what I think it is, but I can't say it. Now, you see here that the waves are low and it gradually inclines and then it declines. There, the other one was just a big old mass. But as you go by the hours and the days, you see that it affects all the other waves around it. And when you zoom in on this, you see that waves are going north, east, south, and west on here. Almost like something was dropped or something imploded underneath. Now when you sit here and you increase this by the hours and the days, you see that it eventually gets close to Cape Town to where 20-foot waves are expected today or tomorrow. And there is a camera here and I will be looking to see what it looks like. Now when I come over to the vessels, I don't see anything that's down here, and usually you see ships that are coming across here. So you tell me, what do you think this one is? Take care. God.
I mean, he basically implied that that was some kind of a bomb or nuclear weapon or something of that sort if you were reading between the lines.
Are these bloodied horses a sign that the apocalypse is coming? Conspiracy theorists believe that the eerie sightings of 2 horses seen on the loose in London is a sign of the end of times. On Wednesday, 24th of April, 2 military horses threw their handlers to the ground and bolted through the capital, resulting in serious injuries for both animals, who are now in critical condition. Footage of the horses circulated on social media, with multiple videos going viral on TikTok, X and Instagram. This came after London's Big Ben randomly stopped working shortly after 9 AM, prompting an online conspiracy frenzy, with tweets like this circulating on X. Are these both signs that the end is
including in 2001, former talk show host Montel Williams. Back then, he was the famous one and had to introduce her to the paparazzi. Now the whole world knows who she is.
Wow, so Kamala is definitely not new to this whole scenery. Quick, somebody let me know what that is in the comments.
Stop! We're good! Jordan, stop! We're good, we're good! This is how you do a close range intercept, guys. You That's unbelievable! No! Stay. Right here. I want to watch. I want to get a vantage point. Let's go. We're good. No, take that camera. Let's go fire. Everywhere. This is crazy. Go look at the fucking thing. Look at it. Look at it. Look, oh my God. Jordan, move. Jordan, move. We're good. It's over the road. It's north. We're safe. That's a big one. Jordan, it's starting to fucking move. No, it's not. We're just getting close, guys. I want to back off. We're good. Trust me. I'm a pro, Bob. I know you are. I'm a pro. I know you are. You're safe now. This is scary. Can you bag this up quickly if something happens? Yeah.
Hey, that's way too close for comfort. But if you're down for that, let me know.
These orbs are able to break apart the fundamental state of what these electrons are tied to on this plane and break them out of equilibrium. And then what they can do is they can cause something called macroscopic quantum coherence, which is that under the right conditions, electrons will form into a matter wave and begin to self-organize. And so what is happening to this plane is that we have a unification of quantum and macro, and that this plane can fundamentally act like a quantum object, even though it's a giant 777 macro scale object. And so when we look at this thermal video, the reason why we see this endothermic reaction is that we are seeing this phase state change of the plane, where it is undergoing this macroscopic phase conjugation. As it's been described to me by Dave Rossi, who's a DoD engineer, it's like hitting jello and watching it vibrate, is that it's causing this quantum entanglement effect, where there may be a fourth orb somewhere else that's entangled to these orbs. And as the orbs converge on the plane, they're triggering this phase effect to occur, this phase change, that is then having this plane move at the speed of light or superluminal speeds faster than the speed of light to a new location. Could theoretically be somewhere else. So you're talking
about like Star Trek Beam Me Up, Scotty.
Not Star Trek Beam Me Up, because that is
that takes your matter and then reorganizes it.
Yeah, but we're not doing that in this case.
Yeah.
This is more like the warp speed of the Star Trek situation, where they're able to go faster than the speed of light. It is in some cases Star Trek, but not that type of teleportation that we're talking about here. Yep, we're talking about the double slit experiment in terms of having your wave function break down by observing it.
Just like the energy can jump across, but none of it's observed.
Yes, and this all goes back to potentially even Tesla. And I think that from what I've spoken to these engineers, it's all about electrical engineering and being able to manipulate electromagnetic waves in specific patterns, toroidal patterns, where they can be focused, and then you can create a gravitational wave that will allow these effects to occur, where we can create this.
So it's like surfing. They create the wave, and the plane goes at 500 million miles an hour away.
That's exactly how it's described in Salvatore Pais' high-frequency gravitational wave generator, is that they are creating a sailing effect. They're displacing themselves from space-time entirely, which is why we see this non-radiating barrier around the orbs, and then they're creating their own geodesics, their own gravity. This is why they look like they're running on train tracks in this video here. So a lot of people look at this and go, well, this has to be non-human intelligence. I thought so first when I first looked at it. But as I've dug into this case, I realized that no, this is actually not thousands of years more advanced. This might be 50 or 100 years more advanced that the military and industrial complex is keeping hidden.
It's quite amazing that we do have some humans on this earth that actually can make sense of events like that, because the rest of us think it's UFOs and things like that, but that might not be the case. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. I appreciate you guys for stopping by yet again and watching another one with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button and join the iTrack fam, and I will definitely catch you on the next one.